I am going to help you make decisions and commit to them. Learn how to navigate difficult conversations and say no without guilt. Let's begin by building your inner strength. Welcome. I'm Angela Dryden, your life coach. All right, my friends, you are here and ready to dive in about becoming your future self and what that looks like. Because what I have found, in order to create the goals, the dream, the vision that you have for yourself in your life, you have to find a way to bridge the gap. You have to become the person that you believe you see yourself becoming when they reach these goals, but you have to become it now at this current time in your life. So how do you do that if you've never been there before? My friends, that's what I'm going to talk to you today about creating goals from our future self and how that looks in your life and steps you can do to get you there, and kind of the whole exploring that with you and just sharing some content and information that's going to help you start to create goals in a different mindset than maybe you've ever had before. And then at the end, I am going to be offering you to connect with me for a discovery call to actually help you create the unintentional thoughts that you're having now and get into intentional thinking from your future self. And I want to show you what that looks like, but that's something I need to do one-on-one with you. So once you hear this content, if you find this information helpful to you, you're going to want to dive into that second step and book that discovery call with me today. All right, my friends, let's dive on in to this content. So this is where I want to talk about the pause. This is the first step when it comes to our dream or our vision board. Now, this is how I look at vision boards now. I see that those are the results I want. And it's good to have an idea of the results that you want. It's important to know what you're shooting for and why you want to shoot for that. Important as well. So those are things that you can kind of keep intact. But when you are here in your current reality right now, and your vision board is in your future self, and you're not sure how your future self thinks, how they exactly do things differently, what's all going on there, and you're here with your current self, it's going to be really hard for you to align to actually create those results because your future self knows. But your current self hasn't experienced that yet, so they don't know. So when we start to align that, now this is where I'm at. This is the pattern I've been doing. And when I do this action, when I try to reach out and call people, when I try to start a new exercise program, when I try to allow myself to be vulnerable with my partner, whatever that looks like for you, right? When you're trying to do those things, there's going to be certain emotions that come up based on the thought and belief you have about that. And those current emotions you're experiencing now are the things we want to be aware of. Because what you're experiencing now is not going to fuel you to get you to your new reality that you want. This future self over here, these results you want to obtain, are not going to be obtained by feeling the same emotions and fueling it with the same thoughts as you did now. And that makes sense of why we go out to so many other people to try to get the data, the information we can, so that we can start to create what we do want, thinking, okay, if I just take this on and I believe this, but you don't really quite believe it. It may be somebody else's words or task or to-do list that you've never done before, and you're not sure why you're doing it, but you're doing it because you're hoping to get the result you want, and you wonder why you're not getting the results you want. The truth is because you're you. And the uniqueness of you, of how you're going to show up, matters to the people you're going to connect with. But when you get clear about your thoughts about it and you see the situation as it is and you see it from your future eyes, then you can start to make a connection that is different. You can start to make that shift that helps you show up differently than you did before. So now that means you're going to create different results than you did before, which means you're going to get closer to the actual dream and vision board you have over here of things you want to create. So how do that line up, right? How do all those things work? So look at your dream board, look at your vision board, and look at the task list you created for yourself, the things that you need to do, like I need to start exercising more. To lose weight, I need to start journaling my food to lose weight, right? If those are goals you have, I need to start calling more people. I need to start posting more things. So those again are things you believe you need to be doing in order to do that. I need to rewrite my resume. I need to do this, I need to connect, be out there and connecting with people more so I can get a better job. These are things that you're believing these are the tasks that you want to do. But what's happening is you're doing those tasks based on the thoughts of who you are now. Whatever our goals are on our vision, like taking more vacation, having better family time, having more time off, whatever that looks like, there is a thought in your head you're having now that you are trying to skip the middle part and go straight to the vision board, to your future self. And the thing is that your future self is not quite there yet, and you're not quite believing it yet, but you're wanting to jump ship and get there as fast as you can. What I want to do is help steer you to get to neutral ground. What is my future self believing that I'm not believing right now? And how do I get there? I just had to figure out what I'm believing now, what would help me get to neutral so that I can start to make that shift. Because kind of in that neutral spot gives you that springboard to go further. It's like that little bit of padding just to get you to the other side. See, we want to skip the padding and just jump all the way over there. So if we can just kind of bounce here for a little bit and then take the bigger bounce, then it's going to feel more sustainable. It's going to feel more real to you in a very different way. Because one of the things that's going to happen is the emotion that you feel from the thought you're having is going to start to ignite, and you're going to start to believe it from a different perspective than you did before. Instead of trying to believe something you don't yet believe, getting to the point where you're like, no, I see this is actually happening. I can now foresee this is happening in my life, and this is going to even get better. Because then you are starting to, instead of going from the lacking of what you don't have, you're actually deciding that what you have is exactly what you need. And now you're shooting for what you're ready to create. You're just ready to go out there and get it, as opposed to like, I want this because this is my goal. You're like, no, I'm going to create this because this is the way that I show up. This is how I show up in the future. This is who I am. And then you start to align yourself so well that you begin to start to create exactly what it is you wanted. So this middle ground is so key. I find that it's something that many clients I work with, they want to skip this part. And then those that grasp it, that get it, they go so much further for so much longer because they get it. They understand. They're not in a rush. Anytime you're in a rush to try to get there, it's a very exhausting energy. And then you try to get there and you try to rush, and then you're literally exhausted. So like the first part of a month, you're like just trying to catch up from the exhaustion you had because you had to get everything done for that month. Now, what I like to offer is that how do you need to think differently than what you are right now or have before in your last month in order to create exactly what you still need to create, but you don't have to run out of energy. You don't have to be exhausted about it. How is that possible that you could do that? Because it is. When you start to open up that there could be multiple different ways to approach this than what I am now, and I don't have to always look at all those how-tos of what to do, but I could maybe possibly find the answer in here. It's like getting into that self-discovery mode and being able to see what makes yourself tick. Why is it that you're trying to do this, to create this in your life? Why do you want this, right? The why. We can think of the why and why we want to get there and the values that it aligns with. But if we're not willing to sit with the right now and sit with it in a way that we're not trying to hurry up and get to the other side, we're going to miss valuable information. What is it you're doing now? And how does your future self see that? And what's part of that progress? Like, what is it I've got to believe next? And then I got to believe this next, and then this next, and then this is my future self. This is my arrival. When you start to make those steps towards that, you start to do things from a place of actually not just believing, but the believing is feeling, is that you feel it in your bones. When you're mad at somebody, you feel it in your bones. You're angry. When you're sad, you feel it in your bones. You're sad. When you're happy, you feel it in your bones. You're happy. When we express these emotions that we have, these emotions will stem from thoughts of what we're believing. It's the thoughts in which we believe that we generate this kind of power. And this power is what helps us create what we want on that vision board, what helps us create what we want on that dream board. And until we align those things together, we are hoping, we're throwing spaghetti against the wall, hoping that something will eventually stick. And we're just praying, like, please stick this time. Instead of having it come from a more fuller, a more abundant mentality, we're just becoming more graspy. So that's what I love to do when I help my clients. I help my clients create that shift, that moment when the light goes on. So I want to use an analogy here, and I want to use the analogy of a stick shift car, right? So a non-automatic car. Nowadays, we have automatic cars, and not only automatic cars, we have cars that will literally drive us. We don't have to think anything. So we're literally deciding not to use any of our brain power when it comes to driving because, right, that would be a nuisance. We don't want to have to do that. So a long time ago, I had a stick shift, and I drove a stick shift car. And when you drive a stick shift, you have to let off the gas and put in the clutch. In between the shifts, you had to get into neutral. And now that's what I'm talking about. When you truly want to create the dreams of your dreams, when you want to really start understanding who your future self is, getting to neutral is a great place to start. Because if you rapidly go to another gear without letting off, you're going to stall your car. You're going to rev your engine too much. Something's going to happen that it's not going to be a good thing. And then you're going to have to fix what's happened and then get back to it again. Do you want to have to do that every time? Do you want to feel burned out every single time that you do something because you're trying to get everything done so fast and so frantically? I mean, what kind of energy does that attract? That doesn't attract probably the people you're looking for in your life, the relationships you want, the activity that you want to create in your life, the exercise, right? The health that you want in your life. If you want to start to create the things that you want in your life that align with who you are, and if who you are is someone that wants to be conscious of their decision making and wants to see the actual pattern of this going through, reach out to me. This is what I do. I help my clients make that shift when a change comes in their life. Because when change happens, lots of shifting happens in our lives. But if we don't get to neutral ground, we're going to start to feel like we're in chaos and things are happening to us instead of for us. I'm going to show you how to get to the part where it's happening for you, and this is exactly where you need to be, as opposed to I've got to get out of here. That energy will follow you again and again and again. When we get to this spot of neutral to get you to where you want to go, this shift, this work, will help you to actually own more of your future self than you've ever owned before. You'll actually see it coming into reality in a place that you've never had before. You just heard all this information about goal setting, about creating that vision board. I'm sure you're ready to dive into this. Reach out, book that discovery call. And if you want me to help you every step of the way, then invest in yourself and start coaching with me so that you can be the person now that is needed to create the vision board, the dream board, the goals that you are creating. All right, my friends, thanks for tuning in. I look forward to talking to you soon. Bye. This next step is easy. Book your free discovery call at www.angeladryden.com today. And don't forget to subscribe to my channel and share this information with a friend. Until next time, take care of you.